A little bit more running around. Oh, and now we get the full credits here. I feel like now is probably not the time to give my full thoughts. But I will say this is absolutely one of the best games I've ever played. For so many reasons, for so many interconnected reasons. I think first and foremost, I think this is a really good example of how I've said this before a couple of times. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. There's so much going on. Maybe I'll just duck. Oh, Matthew Mercer does a voice. The Ludens fan AED voice bomb countdown. Didn't realize. Missed that one. In terms of open world games, I've said this before a couple of times during the stream. Part of the thing that doesn't appeal to me about open world games is the varying, because of the massiveness of the worlds. These days, anyway, in modern open world games, there's a wide variety of different things that you do in those worlds, and because no game can be perfect in all of the things that it does, there's an extremely wide range of quality for each of those activities. I think games like this and games like Breath of the Wild show us an alternative future for open world games in general. The way forward in terms of designing them from the mechanics up. This game is clearly very influenced by Breath of the Wild, and I think similarly in about 5 years we're going to see the influence of this game on open world games, where there's a conceptual, holistic whole that it aims for, and each of the actions that you perform within that world seek to strengthen that whole, that like core concept. I don't think we're going to see when Kojima talks about like strand type games, I think what he means is not games where you deliver packages from place where you pick up packages from one place and deliver them to the other, and you explore an open world through that mechanism. I think what he means is finding that core for another type of game and building from there. So that's like my overall feeling towards this. I think this is a really beautiful vision of the future for open world games, because I don't really love open world games. I don't love Skyrim. I don't love Oblivion. I don't mean to just pick on Elder Scrolls games. I love Morrowind, which is part of the reason why I always bring those two up, because I think Morrowind is super interesting because it's got a bit more of that. It's got a little less variety in the kind of actions you're performing throughout it. It's just like a really interesting, cool, weird world. Whereas Oblivion and Skyrim are that, but then like a lot of fluff and a lot of padding. I don't feel like there's a key vision for those games, but games like Breath of the Wild and games like Death Stranding, they're open world games, but they are singularly focused, and I think that's really important to take forward. And I think we'll see more games like this, not mechanically, but like spiritually. We'll see more games like this moving forward. I will also say though, like the key mechanic of this game, like the delivery mechanic, is super compelling to me. I think they did a really good job of keeping that interesting, having a lot of variety through the areas, having them be distinct but also feel like part of like a real place that gives you like a real vibe and a real feeling. I think the genius of naming each of the chapters after individual characters and then giving you a deep dive into their backstories and giving you sympathy for them and their individual stories, I think was really a really special touch. It really heightened the sense of connectivity that you get, where as you're building the connectivity through this world, through the mechanics, and like opening up these areas, you're learning more and more about the individuals that matter to the story. And I think, you know, Kojima gets a bad rap for being a little on the nose, but I think it's okay to be on the nose. It's okay to, if you've got a story you want to tell, and you've got a method you want to tell it through, I think it's okay to like really hammer it, because if you're on the same page as him, it's better than, I don't know how really I want to phrase this, but I think he did a really good job. I think he created something really special. Yeah, Rudisk says, it's a game where the designer could make everything the way he wanted. You built a connection to the landscape, the characters, and Sam itself. Yeah. That's it. It's a Strand game. That's all there is to say. Well, that's not all there is to say. There's so much to say. So much. Is that it? Wow. Wowee. What a ride. Now, before I begin feeling a little bit of closure, can anybody confirm for me that is indeed the ending? And a complete rainbow, of course. Had to be there. One last cutscene. Oh man. I don't even know what to say. What a multifaceted and complicated story. Not perfect. There are some interesting flaws in there. A small one? Okay, cool. But yeah, I mean, I've already spoken about mechanically what's so interesting to me about this game, but yeah, narratively, not a story that could be told through any other medium. It really requires and rewards patience, and yeah, I'm really blown away. I'm really honestly blown away. There are still questions. I still have questions, and I don't mind them not being answered. I imagine that through deeper diving into the extraneous in-game material, I could probably find answers. Yes, you're right, Rudis. The story is held together. It is paper thin, the way that it is held together. But that's okay. That's fine. That's why we need those, like, the really obvious elements of the story, because if those parts were less confident, if there was less confidence in the presentation of parts of the narrative, you wouldn't be able to go along for the ride as readily. You would be asking those questions too much all the way through, all the way till the end. But at least the way it was presented, the game communicated some things very definitively and other things very subtly, and it is in the connections between those two elements that we find the interest. It's really masterful. It feels like an idea fully formed and then broken down in order to write and in order to present it to people. And it is wholly satisfying. It's not a game where I finish it and I think like, God damn, I need me that Death Stranding 2. It's just Death Stranding just is its own thing. I'm really happy that I played it. I'm extremely happy that I played it on stream as well. Felt like a really cool thing to share with people and to meet people through, and I guess that's kind of the message of the game ultimately, right? It's all about connection and finding common ground. Yeah, I don't want a game exactly like this ever again either, but I sure am interested to see what Kojima Studios does next. Yeah, no sequel. We don't need one. Oh, Sam, we need you for one more job. We need you to connect Europe. And then it's Euro Death Stranding. And then ironically they get all of the environment design from Middle America. Yeah. God, what else is there to say? Sam, we need you to be in Smash Bros. Sam, you received a letter.